Good morning. How is everyone today? What day is it today? Thursday. Oh, the week's almost over, huh? Good morning, Chase and Carol and Barbara Ward. Looking forward to my discussion today. Yay. Let's see what it is. Today I'm going to pull a card to see what we're going to talk about. The last couple days have been pretty intense with the healing technique, beginning to experience Lady Tara. Did anyone have and sit and work with her yet? Who's on? Begin to feel her energy. We're all happy hellos. Oh, today's about unity. Archangel Sandalphon. Traditional viewpoints or methods. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. There he is. Little balls of thought, huh? Orbs. Traditional viewpoints or methods. You know, we're all going to the same end. There is no denying that. The difference is how we all choose to get there, right? There are those people who go, I want to take a breath and I'll just show up. I'm not sure that works, but I'll wait to hear the person who told me that's what they did. There are people who get to where they can see and have an understanding of the inner aura of who they are, and that's where they stop. And then there's those people who want to go all the way, to become a vessel, to be of service to the world, and allow the energy of God to touch through them. Good morning, Kathy Marino. We're just beginning. So we're talking about unity today and Archangel Sandalphon. All right. I read and it's everyone's name saying hello. It's all right. I got to get used to the process. So first, let's do our mantra from Master DK. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. So, all those things are achievements to make. How do we know, good morning, Prime 3, when we are no longer just living human life, but have begun to live the soul life? And there are 7 levels of soul life. And the first 5 initiations are about the evolution of the soul. So, if you haven't heard or didn't know about that, that is the process through the master work to become. Something shifted. Let me see if I missed something. Okay. So, the 7 levels. Let's start here with what's in our statement. I am the light divine. What do you really think that is? Can you contemplate? The light divine. So I write that down. I have learned through being told by my higher self. I always write it down so I can look at it. Use a different asset of my senses and see what that says to me. And I've learned that my hands also write differently depending on where whatever it is I'm writing speaks to me. Now, if I just randomly write the light divine, and now I'm going to write the light divine from knowing what it is. That's two different things. So if your writing begins to change, you'll know that there's a part of you that's evolving and your consciousness has raised. So, unity. So now we must find unity in love, and this is about within yourself. We're not talking about in your space in the world. Love is a huge subject. It is within every chakra, because the love for yourself is within every chakra. It's held as a patterning in the back of the throat. All those neck aches that everybody gets, it's because there's some kind of a squish or a struggle going on with behavior that could be changed to love the person's self. Also, self-acceptance is there. They're very similar, yet different. So, as we're making that statement, I am the soul, I am the light divine, I am love, what it's doing is intriguing a part of you to get to know what does that statement mean and becoming it. Now, is that going to happen in a few days? Absolutely not. Is that going to happen over time? And the more you don't add or do anything else to it to have it happen, the longer that will take. The path is about patience, because there can be a celebration and the next second start working again on another piece. We don't really realize how much depth of healing there is within us. And I can assure you it never ends. It never, ever ends. But it will become to where you can begin to see the difference. So, there's seeing loving through your eyes. There's feeling loving in your heart. There's holding a depth of love in your root and satisfaction and safety. There's so many different ways each one of these words are in action within you and waiting you to come and love them more, to give them a greater freedom and a greater understanding. So let's look at the one that's I am will. The will. You all have back chakras. They hold an essence of God's will or your will, the I of the ego. And that's a big one to really quelch and change, to have decisions and perceptions to become that which is in a surrendered experience of God's energy versus what you believe or think or have been taught, however it comes. So, I am will says, I'm surrendered to not only God, but to man. The work of DK is a lot about the man in the scope of the universe, having that freedom of will in alignment with God, having that love be expansive to all that awareness, and becoming the divine light that you were originally given your spark of your threefold flame for. Oh, not so much to concern yourself about, because as you move, it will all become evolved more and more and more. You know, the threefold flame holds love, wisdom, and divine power. It's another word in our world, right? Kind of makes us have a sick feeling in our stomachs about power. And here we're to become empowered in this experience of I am, as we own our presence inside. So it's going to be another whole shelf, if you want to call it, of healing, of going through. Where do you give your power away? What do you think about power? You know, these are patterns all over through these cells of your consciousness, 144,000 of them, that the process is to evolve it, to love it, to understand it is the separation. It is that which the ego takes you down a hole and tells you no, which is an illusion and not the truth. But when we've been taught that, or live that, or see other people doing that, it is the greatest challenge to find it within yourself in a different way. So good morning, C. Boyson. Well, thank you for your compliment. So you begin to see there's so much, and I'm just touching the little paper fold on the edge of a 8x10 paper of what there is for you to do. And yet I don't want it to overwhelm you because it's a journey. It's an experience of your life that is like no other. Today, do we go? Do we not go? Do we get this? Do we need this? Do we want that? What's wrong with me? So many thoughts. But what's going to happen is you're going to begin to mold the thoughts and to be positive and in action and in love and in will. And that just from doing this one little mantra every day is already started. So if you don't want to change those things, then maybe you don't want to recite it with me. But so what happens when you finally get to that point? Then there is, I am the monad. What is the monad? The monad is the beginning of your individualized self of God. Yes, that is your I am presence. And then it's another whole level to all those things. So many times people say, well, I've already healed that. Well, now we're at a different level. And you will find as you go through that in your healing, oh, I can see more now. I can feel more. I can experience more than when I saw it before and it was like this, somewhat safe. This is going to be a little bit more trickier, a little bit more moving perhaps, and it continues to happen. It was a few weeks ago. I won't need to get into it, but I realized, oh, that's going to represent my humility. And I thought, no, I don't want that. And I realized how quickly I could move to thinking that I was a victim. And that's another whole big topic in the world. See if you can think now of people in your life who have just assumed they need to be a victim. And it doesn't have to be illness. It's about how they see themselves. So what am I talking about today? Unity is bringing all these thoughts that make up of who we are to have them transfer into love and acceptance and an awareness that that's how you can move through the world and not have problems, aches, pains, horribleness, whatever it is, and that God will be there for you in every moment. And that's what unity is. When you can begin to know that God's there for you, you can feel Him, feel Mother. And what it does is it changes your thoughts. It all works together, like going to a lady and having your makeup done. In the end, it all comes together. Before that, it could have been here and there and everywhere. So the path is that which brings unity and everything together. And whatever level you can expand yourself to see that. And then there's service and being there for other people. And always knowing that you can see the light in people. And if you can't today, then you need to look at criticism and judgment These words are very powerful and control and can really strangle a person from their movement. So you have to discover, what has that been for you and why do you still have it? What is it within you? These are your issues, not someone else's issues. And why is it there? Communicate. Work with your mentor and have that help of that other clear eye that can see deeper than you can in the moment. That is always the truth, that there's always someone who can see beyond that which you're seeing and living, and you need that person to help you move out. It's very difficult to try to do that yourself until after years of time. So, unity. I'm wondering, is that making any sense to you? Let me show you a Sandalphon again. So ask me any questions if you'd like. Traditional viewpoints or methods. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors like-minded friends. You know, the worst thing would be for you is to have friends that just don't believe in anything. That's going to be a real uphill battle. But what kind of happens is you become surrounded by people, kind of like our group, that we all believe the same. We may not all understand it or know what's required, but basically it's just keep stepping forward. There's no climbing high. There's no slide down a threatening canyon, just one step in front of another. And no matter how painful it is, there will always be someone there with you, because you always all have your higher self. And that is your first expression of God and knows about this world. And that's why the higher self is first, because it is in this world where we need someone to listen to us and not be judgmental or criticizing, and just to love you, no matter what it is you're feeling. Because the more you can let yourself feel it, the more it's going to let go. And you may not hold on tight to it for safety. I hope you're beginning to see how patterns manifest themselves and how they twist you inside, because you're afraid if you don't have them, what would you have then? Clarity can be a scary thing. What does that mean when I don't have anything? Do I have a thought? Yes, you still have thoughts, but there are beautiful thoughts, loving thoughts. This just radiates out through your hearts, not so much from your mind. It's different. So it's a beautiful place to become. Any questions for me today? My goodness. Thank you all for coming. But perhaps I've touched something you want to know more about. I'm going with how I see things come to me. If you're going on clearing control, then you must see the puppet that maneuvers you. Now, isn't that an interesting thought? That somewhere there's a puppet telling you, out of fear, where to be, what to do, how to act. And there's a fear that's generated that what if I don't do that? Archangel Sandalphon helped me with my last pregnancy of twins. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Archangel Sandalphon. Very powerful being. He reminds me of so many other masters of his energy. He has, it looks like a little more magic to it, which isn't a bad thing. Magic has kind of gotten a bad name from those who overdo it. But I feel the magic is in God's love. And that's all there is. And what could be more powerful, right? So let's know here in this moment, Mother and Father are coming in and bringing their magic to all of you. So first, I would feel the love that's just generating myself through me as the vessel that's here in this moment for all of you. This great deep love. And I see God walking next to you, but he puts his hand out. Come with me. Let me guide you. And Mother, wanting to hold you if you need maybe cuddling that you never had, or don't really know what cuddling in true love feels like. You can ask for these things. They are more than willing because they love us all so much. They don't want us to have a memory of missing anything. All that is God's, he wishes to bestow upon all of us. But is it crazy to know what we go, oh no, I can't have that? We do, constantly. Where in your life are you saying, no, Lord, I wouldn't be able, I don't want that, that's too much. But that's what humanness has taught us, that we don't deserve. We can't have more than we've earned. And there's an error in that somewhere. From Mother and Father God's space, you can have all there is. For each one of us are his light. Yes, we have been given free will. Some people have ignored it, beaten it up, and drug it around in the mud, but no, they still love that person. That's the intensely amazing piece of it. You know, how about that? You don't have to forgive because they already forgive you. They understand they gave you free will to go and to do. Here we are, out here in free will, doing what we want to do today at 11, right? We want to be together and feel others people's love that's radiating back at us, right back at you, right? And that allows us to believe. And when we believe in unity, and we can believe that there's a spark of the similar flame that God gave, at some point, it makes us believe in unity, that we're one, that we are one. How powerful is that? So, I'm going to take a drink here for a minute of water. And let me see, does anyone have a question about all of this? So I'm hearing a question in my awareness, if that works for everybody. And I'm being asked, was there ever a time that I turned away? Because it's been 30 some years now, 34, 35 years. And I have to say to you, no. There's been times when at first I would get hit so hard I would have a question, but I would quickly move from it. And now, I shared the other day, I have the blue light of serenity, and it always just comes first. So, it doesn't matter, you know. Like I said, if you've questioned or if you've turned away, God still loves you. For we're all unique. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. You know, our journeys are all different, and we are different people. There's a unification in where we began. But how we all end up and look like, and how we hold truths, how we live and generate our world is all different. And that's just what's so amazing about it. So, another word, no jealousy. No one has what you're meant to have. They can't. Absolutely cannot have. They can try, but their ego will get tired eventually. Because the you that you are is so magnificent. Why would you want to look anywhere else? Instead, go back into your journey and your process of your journey and discover who you are. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Why do I talk about what's happened to me? Because I'm hoping to let you know it's all doable, that you can do it. Not because I'm special, but because I kept going, one foot in front of another. And when you're doing that, people show up. People here, people there, people I didn't know would walk up to me and say, "Oh, Thea, how are you? You changed your name." And I knew before my final name came it was coming. And then someone there she was, said my name, TheoSophia. It's crazy, absolutely crazy how magically things happen when you really surrender your life to walk on the journey of surrender. Now, surrender, unity, I got to tell you, I kind of see them as the same. Surrender for me is taking yourself and sitting way down in the bottom of your butt and watching what else happens around you. It's like taking yourself out of the quotation. It's letting the God part of you have action. And for me, that's always been easy. I have no idea why. Perhaps it's easy for you also. It's not just, well, this is just for TheoSophia. No. There is a surrender. Work on discovering the surrender in you. What allows you to let go and not have to depend on how it was, to allow something different to be so. You know, this moment has a perfection. So, yes, sometimes things that aren't so wonderful happen. But in the end, there's always that beautiful silver light, the silver lining, and we'll understand all of it. It always happens. Some of you may not want to trust though in this moment, but the perfection is in the moment. There are no mistakes. And you are the planner of your journey, nobody else. Maybe God and Mother sat with you, but Jesus is saying, thank you for sharing your experience with us of surrendering and unity. Yeah. You know, it's between you and you. And once you realize that there's another whole you inside, who is that spirit, and that there's a soul before the spirit, it's the magic. And when you become more of them, they start letting more of God in. And then you become aware that there is a great love, and you believe. It's another word, it all can't happen without believing. You know, I believe. I believe. What do we know from a child that always would say, believe? But the lesson was believing. Anybody know? Mm-hmm. Well, before even you, most of you are probably not as old as I am. So can you think of something? It's still saying it today. Believe. Anybody? Very interesting. You want me to tell you? The magic of Disney. They used to have a little thing. They played every Sunday night before we'd all watch it. Believe. Magic. And for me, the magic's God, and it's His love, and it's believing in it. So if you're someone that's drawn to that magic and that amazing perception that Disney had to even create that, don't think, He was a special being of God. That's all I can say. And now you must contemplate that and see if you can believe that. These people are all around us in every way. They say there are no movies that haven't been given to someone to create, that they're all real. Interesting thought, scary thought, all at the same time. But what if it's so? We've seen so many movies come to be, so many that go back and tell us how it is, and we still don't learn from it. Any moment that's happening now, we can go back and find in history. How are we going to change how that all ends up? Is by believing that in our hearts, in the magic of that heart, we can create anything we want. That we and God are the creators of this world. Because if you haven't gotten to that point, you're still creating what you were taught and what was in the history books and over and over and over again, you see. So there's a purpose to why we all come back to Classroom 101. However many times we've started to go through it, and how like some of you start things and you get tired and you go back. Well, maybe you really know the good part, first part really well. But maybe now you're being asked, well, keep on going. Take it deeper. Take God's hand. Let him show you the easy way. Maybe find a mentor. And you'll be amazed at how quickly things will move and you will shift and not always be landing back in the history book. Okay. Any final question? Have I blown all your minds, or did I make sense? I don't know. It just comes through. Lots to think about. You probably can listen to this one a couple times, right? So today's Thursday. Wow, one more day of the week. Well, we're still packing. Still getting ready to move over to our new beautiful place. It's not a brand new place. It's all redone by the owners. But we have a view of the lake, which was one of my wishes, desires, whatever you want to call it. So the first thing we said when we saw all the pictures was, it has a view. Now, I always thought a view of the water would be on the ocean. But see, it wasn't that way. It was to have a view of water, to bring my heart more peace and fluid. It's all very interesting if you allow yourself to understand how desires come true. And it may not look exactly how the human or the soul desired it, but it's all perfect, and it's perfection. And I can't wait for the first day I get to sit and watch the water, and perhaps write or meditate, whatever it'll be, because there'll be a perfection in that. So maybe this talk for you today is about finding that moment when you can feel all the love there is that you're able to sense today. And then do it again tomorrow. And then tomorrow. And the next tomorrow. You see, tomorrows never stop. So Chase is thanking me for the green Tara mantra yesterday. Yes, you're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. All these things are great avenues of evolving. And I'm going to continue to share a few things. But you all know I do healing. I do have mentoring. So if you want something more to help you on your journey, you can reach out to me. But it's lovely to see you all here today. I wish much love and many blessings to all of you. And sit with your soul. Sit with your human first and say, hey, let's go see what the soul feels like. And if you are the soul, we'll see what happens when I become spirit. See if it'll show you the image. Or maybe you are spirit. I have some people who are angels. They find out they've been an angel before. Who's to know until you go and see? And this is the journey in unity. Many blessings to you. Thank you for spending time with me today. I will be here at 11 tomorrow, 11 a.m. Good day.